I sliced everything so paper thin.
And now, a WBRC Fox 6 weather first alert.
We have a tornado warning, everyone. We want to give you that first alert. It is 11:14. What you're looking at is the northern Tuscaloosa County, the southeastern part of Fayette County, and into looks like the southwestern corner of getting close to Walker County. Not quite up there just yet. This is the area that is tightening up where we're detecting rotation with our system. Matt is going to be zooming in on First Alert AccuTrack radar. So we're talking about right over towards Sanford Road. This is where we're seeing a tight circulation. So this is what we're going to be tracking moving off towards the northeast. And so what we could do is get a track of this part of the storm. If you want to switch over to velocity, whatever you want to do, Matt, we will go with that. But this is going to be where we're seeing the potential tornado. I believe it's just radar indicated. Matt, if you see something different, let me know. But this is moving off to the north and east. And we're going to let you know, for folks that are in the path of this storm, you need to take it seriously because a tornado could develop very quickly. So what does that mean? You need to get to your safe place. Okay, tornado watch means conditions are favorable. And now we're seeing our first tornado warning. And again, this is going to be headed towards the Bethel area. That's at 11:40. You can see the additional times and towns in the path of this storm. Wyndham Springs by 11:31. So a first alert for you. Right now, this is a radar indicated. This has quickly begun to rotate, and where we have the red and green, that is detecting a motion going away and towards the radar, so that's how we know that there is circulation there. And again, this storm is moving off to the northeast. Can you click on that right there? I want to see what the Barren tornado index is right now with this skit, just to see, you know, where we're at. Right now, it doesn't look very high, but that doesn't mean that could change. So when it's in a 2.5 range, not terribly concerning. We start to see these storms producing tornadoes when that gets up to a 5 and even a 6. So we'll also check out, are you on, which radar site are you on, Matt? Are you on Birmingham or? Try Tuscaloosa, go to Columbus real quick. Just, is that still, that's tightening up a little bit more. So we're waiting to get an actual skit. And if we get one of those orange ones, that would be a little bit more concerning. Right now I'm not seeing that, but that could easily change. So again, there is a tightening there, certainly a circulation detected by the Weather Service, and then our system is showing, I mean, that's strong rotation right there. So this is over the Sanford Road area. We're talking about Fayette Road. You're next in line. All these folks, if your weather radio is going off and you're listening to us, if your first alert weather app went off for a tornado warning, you need to be in your safe place now. This storm is moving off to the northeast. Next in line for those folks up towards Fayette Road. Then next in line after that, you're talking about County Road 12, County Road 40. So that's close to the New Hope area. Again, this is northern Tuscaloosa County, the southeastern part of Fayette County, including Concord. So we'll be watching this right here. There is that tight circulation. Possible tornado could develop here any moment now. So we're going to have to watch this very closely. This is the storm right now. The only storm we have that is tornado warned, as we kind of widen out the view just to show the perspective of everything else that we're tracking right now. We have multiple clusters. What can sometimes happen, even though we're not seeing an outbreak probably of tornadoes today, sometimes they can feed off of little small boundaries. There's nothing a model could pick up on, but they can feed off these little boundaries and it can cause it to quickly rotate. So that is potentially what we're seeing right here. There's just enough spin in the atmosphere for that particular storm. Everything else not warned upon other than flash flood warning. So again, we have this one tornado warning. This is in effect. If you don't mind clicking on that, Matt, so we can tell folks how long this warning is in effect for. And again, this does include Tuscaloosa County. This is in effect until noon. All right, so you're talking about another 40 minutes. We'll be monitoring this storm. There's that little potential hook you can see, and that would be where that tornado would be sitting if it were to develop. Remember, we talked about this number. It was a 2.5. It's now crept up to a 4.5. That is the Barren Tornado Index. And what we have learned with our technology is that once it gets 5, 6, 7, likely a tornado on the ground. So we're going to watch that number real close because that is an indication that this storm is strengthening, it's tightening up, and it could begin to produce a tornado at any moment. So we want you in your safe place. Barry, you can see that is going to be coming towards you. The northern side of it may be more of a hail threat, but we'll be watching right here. That is that little notch. and that is that area that's tracking off to the north and east. There is an update to the scan right there. A little tight circulation. You can see it, the green and red. Where you see that is where we have, again, that storm rotating and potentially trying to produce a tornado. So tornado warning in effect. This is not in the Tuscaloosa area. This is northern Tuscaloosa County. This is also part of the southeastern part of Fayette County, near Concord, near New Lexington. So there is that circulation. We want you in your safe place now if you're watching us, because these things can quickly develop. This is the only storm that we're seeing right now. JP, you set to add anything else to this right now? We've got a lot of folks in house right now.
Yeah, we're all mic'd up here. Matt Daniel and, of course, Jill Gilardi here. And what I'm seeing right now, same as what you've been talking about. We want to go over to our Tuscaloosa Sky Vision camera here momentarily. And what you're noticing, the air mass is very juicy. You walk outside, a lot of moisture, low-level moisture out there. In fact, this is the view there in Aniana. Look at Tuscaloosa, these low clouds right now, and the current temperature in Tuscaloosa is 76 degrees. Those dew point temperatures very close to that. So we're looking at dew points close to saturation, and that is going to give us the fuel for some of these thunderstorms that we're looking at. We do have a tornado warning in effect right now for northern Tuscaloosa County as well as southern Fayette County. Still seeing some rotation out there. This warning is going to go until lunchtime right around the Concord area, and to not be confused with Concord, that is located in western Jefferson County. This is Concord right there in parts of Fayette County. Now, looking at our rotation tracker, this looks a little bit less pronounced than it was just a few moments ago. So we had this kind of glowing red when Jill was showing you this. Now with the newer radar scans, it's starting to lose a little bit of that organization. We'll go back over to our velocity here and show you what we're talking about. This is tracking up toward New Lexington, and right there, literally on the Fayette and Tuscaloosa County line, that is where we're seeing that rotation right now. County Road 68, New Lexington Road, all areas. We want to make sure you're taking your tornado precautions. Fayette Road as well. If you're around New Lexington or New Hope, make sure you are in your safe place, at least until this tornado warning expires. Here's the latest track. New Hope at 11:24, New Lexington at 11:28, Barry at 11:40, Sandtown 11:45, Boley Springs 11:46, Alta at 11:46, and Salem at 11:49. Storms moving east-northeast at about 34 miles per hour, and we're seeing about 80 mile per hour shear with this storm. So moving right now toward the New Lexington area, Bethel, on into Walker County if this does hold together. Matt, if you get a track, you see that little speck right there? It's almost outside the polygon. Let's just go ahead and track from there and take it out to about 35 miles per hour. That's going to put it more toward maybe Three Forks, Gorgas area. There you go. Wyndham Springs at 11:40, Wiley at 11:45, Whitson at 11:51. So a first alert. We do have a tornado warning, extreme northern Tuscaloosa County right now in southern Fayette County. You may hear the weather radios going off for all of Tuscaloosa County and all of Fayette County just to help you get your bearings. It's right there where that polygon is, and that's going to be the northern part of Tuscaloosa County and southern Fayette County. Lexington and New Hope, Concord area, eventually perhaps even Bethel there, and a first alert if you're watching in Oakman. The storm is moving up towards you. Today's severe weather threat is largely going to be damaging winds, but we can't rule out a few tornado warnings as well. What we've been noticing, the general wind flow today is out of the west or southwest. Typically, historically, that's not a setup where you get a widespread tornado outbreak. Today, we're going to be looking at more of a damaging wind threat, but again, we can't rule out the possibility of a few tornado warnings with today's setup. All right, let's go to another area we're watching right now, and this is going to be in Coleman County, southern Coleman County, Arkadelphia area, Wilburn. It's not a tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect right now until noon, just to the south of Hanceville, and this is going to be moving up toward eventually Bangor. That's in Blount County. Here's the latest track. Arkadelphia at 11:32. Get ready for some higher winds through there. Bremen at 11:35, all the way toward Damascus at 11:42. Sulphur Springs Looks like Sulphur Springs at 11:42 and Dodge City at 11:45. All of these storms today moving toward the east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour. Again, tornado warning in effect for parts of northern Tuscaloosa County, southern Fayette County, and we do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now for the southern half of Coleman County. So right now the big picture is showing you quite a bit of rain and thunderstorm activity across the northern part of the state. What I think is going to happen later this afternoon, we're going to see more of really a massive rain and storms, and this eventually is going to slide down to the south. And I think our better chance of seeing those stronger storms or damaging winds probably south of Interstate 20. Jill Gilardi's here in the First Alert Weather Center. Jill, we've been talking about this today. That air mass, I think, farther to the south, a bit untouched, untapped. So after 2, 3 o'clock, I think that damaging wind threat is going to shift down to the south. Jill?
Yeah, certainly you're going to be watching these storms initially because they still have a lot of that warm, moist air that they're feeding into. And then we'll be tracking what comes in from the south and the west. What we want to do right now, Matt, I was looking at that storm again that has the tornado warning. If we could zoom back into that, because JP, you were saying that southern portion looks to be trying to tighten up a little bit again. So it looks like, you know, based on the reflectivity, a little bit more impressive than what we are seeing on radar. So let's hope the velocity data continues to look this ragged right now, but still a tornado warning. And this has been issued by the Weather Service. It is radar indicated. The circulation associated with this has weakened some. So we'll have to monitor it because these things can quickly, you know, tighten up again. So again, if we get the latest update on the track of this storm, it is again moving off to the northeast about 30 miles per hour. The Barren tornado index, that 2.7 number, that's where we want it to stay low. It has dropped back down again from 4.5. They are the towns that will be impacted by this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, where you need to be in your safe place. JP.
All right, Jill, and I'm going to bring you back up to date. Thanks for that report on Tuscaloosa. Now we're moving over into Jefferson County and also parts of Walker County, where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. Includes Dora as well as Sipsey, the Drummond area, Sloan, and this is going to continue on into southern Coleman County. This severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:15. 12:15 for Walker and Jefferson counties. Cluster of thunderstorms there, and we are seeing the potential for some higher winds showing up. If you're in Dora or Sipsey, you are being impacted by this as we speak. So this is what we have right now. Everything on the map is moving off to the east-northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. And right there around Kilgore and Littleton, this is where we're going to be looking at the higher winds, just crossing the river there and moving to the northeast. So this is going to be tracking just to the south, I think, of Brent's Crossroads and Bankhead Highway. This is going to be just to the north of Interstate 22. So again, Walker County, Jefferson County, northern Jefferson County, severe thunderstorm warning in effect. The backside of this all the way toward the Jasper area. Momentarily we'll get a picture here and I think we'll be able to work on that from the Walker County Airport and get a sky view here in just a moment. In fact, Matt, if you want to work on that, I can change our sources to our secondary AccuTrack here and show you what's going on. So we'll change that source, and I'll actually, Jill, while we're working on that, we're going to look at the Walker County Airport there. And I actually, stand by, I think Matt's going to change this on the monitor behind me and get the current conditions on what's going on right now. Yeah, stand by. All right, AccuTrack 1. And we're going to be looking at where we're seeing, back to the Tuscaloosa tornado threat, by the way, just briefly here. We're seeing that rotation around, this is moving up towards Sandtown. And just looking at the updated data here, this does not look quite as tight as it was just a few moments ago. The tornado warning does continue through noon for northern Tuscaloosa County, and this is going to be tracking up toward the Bethel area and Oakman. We're going to be looking at not only the tornado warning, but we do have the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for southern Coleman County, as well as as northern Jefferson County and Walker County around Dora and Sipsey. Jill Gilardi here in the First Alert Weather Center. Jill, the weather's starting to get a bit more active this afternoon. We're starting to heat up a little bit, the instability increasing, and through the afternoon we're going to continue, I think, with a whole bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings and perhaps a few more tornado warnings as these storms move on through the area. Jill?
Yeah, it looks like based on future radar trends, everything will kind of be congealing and eventually evolving into some sort of kind of squall line where you can get embedded spin-ups and certainly that threat for damaging winds, which will transition into one of our top threats. But as you can see right now, we still have several counties under severe thunderstorm warning. So what you need to be ready for across the northwestern part of Jefferson County into Walker County into southern Coleman County is that potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We're talking about 1-inch hail potential. So first alert for that, you need to take that just as seriously as even a tornado warning, because sometimes these tornadoes, if they are, if one is produced, can produce winds equal to, or if not stronger than, those straight line winds. So we are still watching this very closely, still some rotation. The Weather Service is continuing this tornado warning for northern Tuscaloosa County into southern portions of Fayette County. This is moving off to the northeast. Again, that circulation not very strong. We hope it stays that way with that Barren tornado index at a 2.6. So it is moving off to the northeast. Besides that threat for a tornado, can rule out damaging winds and also that threat for hail. So that's what we're watching right now. Again, we've only seen this being radar indicated. We have not gotten any reports that they are seeing a tornado touching down or anything like that. So let's hope that trend continues with that particular storm. So again, we are monitoring that one. We have additional storms off to the north and the east. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings. You're getting the alerts through the WBRC First Alert weather app, and the weather radio, I'm sure, is going off. JP, you have some new information?
Yeah, I want to show you some live pictures right now. This is coming in from Walker County, and where we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. These storms are really kicking up, and you can see the temperature right now, 68 degrees. The dew point is coming in at 68 as well. Pretty juicy air, but I have noted that dew point's a little bit lower there in Walker County, so the instability slightly lower. Where I am concerned as we get into the next several hours, areas south of Interstate 20. If you're south of Interstate 20, you're going to be looking at a higher potential, I think, for some stronger winds later this afternoon. Remember, that is untapped air. That is what we're looking at with that area is places that haven't seen rain. In fact, you look at Shelby County, we have some sunshine right now. So as this entire system moves on through, I think we're going to see a fair amount of severe thunderstorm warnings this afternoon. Jill made an important note. With the thunderstorms this afternoon, you may get a thunderstorm warning and say, yeah, it's just a thunderstorm warning. Don't disregard that, because sometimes with these thunderstorms, you may get a 60, 70 mile per hour winds, knock trees down, powers out, and do some significant damage. So it doesn't just have to be a tornado warning to see some pretty serious damage out there. Right now, we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and we do have the one tornado warning in effect right now, northern Tuscaloosa County and Fayette County. That warning goes until noon today for that area. So we're showing you right now on radar. Here we go. This is going to be aiming up toward the Bethel area, and within just a few minutes, this is going to be out of Tuscaloosa County. So in about 5-10 minutes, we'll see this out of northern Tuscaloosa County. This does not include Tuscaloosa proper or Northport. This is going to be the northern part of the county in southern Fayette County and just to the south there of Corona. That storm, we'll go back into velocity here, and there's a little something there, but it's certainly not that rotation that we had before. Matt Daniel here is in the First Alert Weather Center, and he's looking at National Weather Service chat. And feel free to chime in, Matt. What we were looking at earlier, and I'd say about 15-20 minutes ago, was pretty tightly wound, and we're not quite seeing that now. It's a little more jaggedy raggedy there as we look at AccuTrack. Matt?
Yeah, that's right, JP. In fact, I am monitoring the National Weather Service chat room, and they are looking at what we're seeing here, right here at Fox. We are looking at some weakening rotation with that tornado-warned storm, and so if it continues to weaken, they might actually cancel that warning soon. So we can cross our fingers. Hopefully that weakening trend will continue, but this is what we're going to be expecting over the next several hours. We're going to have these clusters of storms develop from Mississippi, make their way eastward into Alabama, and they will have the chance to intensify and perhaps produce some damaging winds and large hail. So I want to do an overview to let everyone know what's going on, and we'll zoom on out. Notice if you're north of Interstate 20, that's where we're seeing the active weather. We're not ignoring the people that are off to the south and east. You will likely see more active weather as we go towards the late afternoon and into the early evening. But we do have one tornado-warned storm, and that is in the far northern parts of Tuscaloosa County. Does not include the city of Tuscaloosa. Approaching parts of far southeastern Fayette into southwestern Walker counties. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning out for Walker and the northern parts of Jefferson counties as well, and even the southern parts of Coleman. And these are mainly wind threats, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as they are moving off towards the east pretty quickly, around 30 to 40 miles per hour. So we are looking at that at this moment. So I think we're going to toss it on over to Jill. She has an update on what's going on our First Alert AccuTrack radar.
Yeah, I was looking at the analysis. What is, the instability looking like across the state and back to our southwest? Where are these storms? Are they in an area where they could continue to strengthen? They're really right on the edge of the more favorable conditions for development. So just right on that edge. So all in all, this is really a zone primarily for the storms to be severe warm, but that tornado warning again it looks like
it's canceled.
It's canceled.
Yes.
Okay, so that has weakened. That is some great news to report now. We no longer have the tornado warning in effect. We still have some severe thunderstorm warnings, so we'll monitor these storms. Matt, if you could go to the new radar for the national, I do want to talk about the other area that we're going to be concerned with for the afternoon hours, because this is the area that is very favorable for severe development. So these are the storms we're going to monitor as they eventually move eastward with time, and we'll have to keep a watch, especially south of I-20, for those storms to be intense and produce potential severe weather. So again, no longer under that tornado warning, northern Tuscaloosa and southern portions of Fayette County. Still monitoring those severe storms. We'll go back on the air if we need to. And again, we're watching those storms back to the south and west. JP has more to add.
All right, Jill, thanks for that update. Good news there. The tornado warning was canceled. We've been noticing that trend with that particular storm. What we're going to do is stay on until noon. And of course, noon, we have the noon news here on WBRC. But we've got some active weather out there, so it just seems appropriate that we're going to stay with you with a number of severe thunderstorm warnings currently in place at this hour. So we'll all go back and forth and talk about what we have setting up across the area. First off, on AccuTrack, we're going to zoom in to where we have kind of a trouble spot here, and this is going to be in northern Jefferson County and eastern parts of Walker County, Cordova, Dora, Sipsey, Bryan, Corner, Sloan, all areas where you can have some hail and some high winds. That's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning. I was looking at the future radar, and Matt can hit the buttons on that. The future radar over the next 60 minutes, we call this the 60-minute advantage because we give you an idea where these storms are going to be in 1 hour. So here's where they are by 12:36. So we're just going to go ahead and walk you through this. Here it comes from Morris. It's going to be Kimberly. And then you're going to be looking at Trussville, Springville, and Aniana. I'm not saying you're going to have a tornado there, and I don't think you will, but I do think you're going to be looking at some higher winds moving through that area between about noon and 12:30. So again, I want to give you the first alert. If you're watching in Aniana, if you're in Trussville, if you're in the Springville area, you may have some hail with these storms that's going to be coming on through. And then back out to the west, you still have kind of that cluster of thunderstorms back over toward Oakman and Parrish and southern parts of Walker County. Good idea this afternoon. Because it's going to be active out there. If you live in a manufactured home, mobile home, camper, whatever you want to call it, if you're something that's not considered a real sturdy structure, I would go ahead and make alternate plans, because even if you don't see a lot of tornadoes, you're going to be looking at the potential there for 60-plus mile-per-hour winds with some of these thunderstorms. So I think later this afternoon, we're going to see that shift for some higher winds south of Interstate 20. We're going to be looking at things really starting to pick up south of I-20, and you may have really a cluster of high wind producing storms around, say, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. I don't think we'll see a whole bunch of severe weather after 5 or 6. I think this thing kind of starts winding down by then. So throughout the afternoon, your weather radio is going to be going off. Your First Alert weather app hopefully is going to be going off, and you're going to be getting a lot of alerts there because of these higher winds and the potential for some of these tornadoes to develop. Not a big potential for tornadoes, and the reason I'm saying that, you're thinking, man, it feels humid out there. It just has that feel. The winds are not super favorable for that to happen. The winds are more kind of out of the west or southwest, and typically with that setup, you don't see a lot of tornadoes. What you do sometimes see is something kind of riding a little boundary or some little mini front there that does produce some rotation. You end up with a tornado warning. But any widespread tornado warning type event, probably on the lower end of the scale, but I would not be surprised to see a lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings popping up over the next several hours. So be prepared for that. And it's going to be some heavy rain. If you're going to be traveling around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, likely right there, I-65, 459, Highway 280, it's going to be messy. I think you're going to have some tough travel at that point in time. This morning, most of that has been to the northern part of the state. Well, it's going to shift later on this afternoon. Look at some of these rainfall totals already. Some localized flooding, certainly a possibility. You've had radar estimates of over 2 inches of rain in parts of Walker County, about 1 inch there in Blount County, Fayette about 1.5 inches or so forth. And look at that, just to the north there, Reform in Pickens County, almost 3 inches of rain. This afternoon, it's going to be Jill Gilardi, Wes Wyatt, myself, Matt Daniel for a little while before he goes home and gets a little bit of rest. He's been here since the middle of the night. He's over here running radar right now. Jill, we're talking about as things evolve for the afternoon, and even, you know, we were even talking about the Barren's game tonight that's at 7:05. I think the really nasty weather is going to be cleared out by then. You may have some residual rain, but it looks like the window, I think, for this active weather is going to be from now to about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then we start seeing things start to improve.
Yeah, that has been, you know, the future radar trends. It was showing it yesterday. We gave you that first alert, kind of the timing, and things are still lining up right now. So no tornado warnings in effect. We have severe thunderstorm warnings. This does include the Graysville area. So first alert for potential hail and damaging winds all the way up through Jasper and just south of Hanceville. So we'll monitor these storms as we progress forward. Again, these southernmost storms, they are feeding into all that warm, moist, unstable air. They have nothing to really interrupt it. So I do think we need to start to watch that storm right there that has, you know, that little appearance to it that it wants to try and rotate. Yeah. So we'll have to watch the southernmost storms initially, and then we see what develops back to our west, because those are going to be the big time storm and wind producers today as we get into the afternoon hours, some of that which will clip our area. So this is the area. They've now issued a moderate risk for parts of the southwestern part of the state. So we'll be watching this as it develops and shifts east over time, could clip our southernmost counties. So we're going to head over to JP again with some new information.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that could happen with that moderate risk, if we see a lot of development down farther to the south, that could limit the severe weather development farther to the north. But included in that moderate risk, that's that 4 out of 5, Sumter County, parts of Greene and Hale County and Marengo County. So a few counties in our viewing area that we're going to be watching there. We're going to continue watching these storms this morning and through the noon news, but right now we're going to toss it to a break. We're going to be back in a few minutes. We'll get right back to looking at the radar. We'll see you soon.
When a storm is where you are,
Pelham, Alabaster, Pickens, Tuscaloosa,
Gadsden, Etowah County.
That's where we are.
Team coverage from several locations,
Giving you the first alert for your neighborhood.
Alexandria, a first alert.
The WBRC First Alert Weather Team. Local weather experts on your side with street level alerts.
This is Pelham Parkway.
So you have more time to get ready.
Make sure you're in your safe place.
Keeping you safe no matter where you are. This is why we First Alert.